Good morning. I wanted to do this live this morning, although I do not have Miss Brandy here with me. But we wanted to just get back on, at least I did want to just get back on and talk about this funding journey that we started last week. And really just talk to a certain segment of business owners. The ones that are going on LegalZoom and other websites to form their company or searching online for draft contracts. And the question I have for you, are you getting messages from your contracting partners or others telling you that your contracts are outdated or insufficient? Are you focusing on parts of your business that you don't know that much about, and are not allowing yourself to do the business that you started? Well, if that's you, I want to talk directly to you this morning about the strategies that you can implement right now to set your business up for funding and growth. Before I do all of that, I'll reintroduce myself. I'm Christine Dixon. I'm the founder of Dixon Turnbull. I have been practicing last month for 24 years. I actually did that calculation this morning and realized that it's this month, the 4th of October would make 24 years that I have been practicing. I've had my firm for 10 years. In November this year will make 10 years. So during that time, I have done quite a bit of different types of legal work. I have worked for government, and then I've also worked for small and medium-sized firms until I formed my own firm. During that time too, I did do my graduate program, so I really get it. Formed companies for myself. Currently, I think I own the firm and 2 other businesses that I work on the side too. So I get that whole entrepreneurship thing because I'm an entrepreneur myself. Prior to actually going directly to form my firm, I owned a jewelry company, and I still do make jewelry from time to time. So it really is, I think entrepreneurship is really a spirit, that spirit of creativeness. And the reason I think, because I'm guilty of this too, the reason I think most entrepreneurs stub their toe in that second year, or when they actually are now ready to start getting funding and they realize, oh my God, things were not set in place, is that spirit of creativity. When you are hit with it, you just want to get to work. You just want to start working. Want to start producing. You want to start creating. You want to start making that great piece of jewelry. So you have your name, but you don't have the whole thing in place. I recently had a client over the summer who actually is someone I knew for a while and was retiring from the government, started her business and actually went and registered the name and thought that she had filed an LLC. And technically, all she did was register that name with the state and paid a small amount of money, I think it was like $35, and wanted me to draft an operating agreement. And I had to go through, look up the state, because of course she's not here with me in Maryland, but I had to do some research, and I'm like, no, sweetheart, all you did was register the name. You did not form a legal company, and we have to start this from scratch. Of course, they'd been operating. So, and the only reason, again, she was at the door was she was trying now to go to the bank, get herself a business loan, and needed to take a step back. And I had to take a whole step back with her. It really only took, and I gave her what I in turn have now used on other clients, called the VIP experience, because she actually sat with me, her husband and herself. We walked through what goals they had. We thought about what the business should look like in 2 years, 5 years, when this is now going to be a multi-million-dollar business. I'm sure of it. we went through all those things and we talked about what she needed to do to set that up, and immediately I got to work, and within a week, I'd say less than a week, we had actually formed her business in a day, but got all her documents to her in about a week, and she had her new LLC up and running. And sent to me a great little video, and she got her actual corporate documents in the mail in her binder, and I think I actually have that on my site, or I've posted it before. And that really is the bone of what I'm seeing now happening, and I wanted to really talk to people about, because this really is important. Many business owners do the stuff themselves in an attempt to save money, and then there really isn't, when it comes to the time to really go after that funding, they've realized that the ball is dropped on something else. And so what I wanted to stress to people, business is the same. You can find general information on the internet. You can actually go to LegalZoom and they'll form your company, but they won't put in the specifics, such as, who do you want to take this over once you have gotten to the point where you decide to move on. We have to do succession planning before it is that time. People form businesses and should form businesses with an exit, so that you're planning for everything. What should happen, how much money have you put into this business on your own. If you have a partner or another member in an LLC, you want to set that in motion where you've put those things in the actual documents, because once you do that, if at the time you are ready to depart the business, or to bring another member into the business, or to bring a company, or to pitch to a venture capital corporation, or to have a corporate realignment or restructure, you have had those things set in stone. You're not sitting there recreating numbers. Oh, I did buy that for $50. I did do the software for $200. You have all of these things set in stone in your operating agreement, so that when that time comes, it's really easy. It's easy for someone to say to you, my goodness, Citibank is down there giving away grants and the deadline is tomorrow. And you say, okay, I can fill that application out now because I know all my other corporate documents are ready. I just simply have to sit down and spend the hours doing the application, making sure I've written to the grant itself, and I have everything else that I can upload into that application. And I think that's the stress of not having that done really weighs on people. And also when they get to the point of doing the stuff. But I wanted to give you a counterintuitive thing that you could do instead today that would help you if you decide you can't afford our services. I know our services generally start at about $3,000 for a business, so to speak, and we are getting ready to do an offer, but there is a counterintuitive thing that you can do, and that will actually give you something to look at, some kind of reference for even when you are ready to speak with me. You've done some research, and that is many states have small business resources for small business owners and nonprofits. The state of Maryland has that in place. You have other nonprofit organizations like the Maryland Nonprofits who cater to working with nonprofit organizations and getting them accredited through them, but they also just work with you. So you get the basics, the basic knowledge of everything before you are, say, ready to get something tailored to yourself. You can work with them and work with their consultants. You can also go to the business school, as I recently found out by actually going myself to University of Baltimore's Merit School of Business. They actually have a center for entrepreneurship, and they actually have students go through that program, but it's also open to the general public to go, to see, to talk with someone, get those ideas, to pitch to venture capitalists, to pitch to other funders, types of funders, I should say. And, they actually have that program set in motion that gives their students and the public this opportunity. They also do have a space that is set up like a co-working space for business owners to actually go in and use the resources they have, the Wi-Fi, the computers, and so forth. So there are actual things that you could do that could set yourself up immediately, and it's still better than piecemealing something together on the internet. Because don't you know, I actually had a potential client a year ago, and I determined that I could not handle their matter. They actually piecemeal together an actual operating agreement in the section where they talked about who contributed what. They actually put an amount there, $50,000, when there was no money that went in the opening of this business. They went ahead and did all of this, created it from some generic source, and when there was a disagreement, one partner went, or member I should say, one member went and began to withdraw monies from the bank. And the bank allowed this because her name was on the signature card. And there was never an accounting to say that something that an attorney would have caught, would have said to you, there should only be one signer perhaps on a small amount, and you can tailor your operating agreement like I did with my client this summer to say up to $500 there is only one signer. Anything over that, you have two signers. The person started to withdraw thousands of dollars and actually change the login information on the original member. And there now was this big dispute as to how monies could be retrieved when there was an actual document that said this person contributed X and this person contributed Y, but they didn't put any money that way in the business. They just actually got to work and started earning money. And these types of mistakes can cost you. It costs you in fees to attorneys. It costs you in monies that cannot be recovered from the bank because the bank did the right thing. The bank did not have any indication to say they should have only distributed cash to one person. They had this thing written out. They had this operating agreement that functionally really destroyed their business. And this is something I know when people are getting ready to gung-ho and they're excited about forming their business and getting it off the ground, you're not thinking about all of these things. And this is why meeting with a professional who can give you advice, be it a lawyer or one of those resources that I pointed to, you learn things that will only help you. So you have to remember too, when you're looking at these, piecemeal documents or these documents that you found on the internet, that no business is the same. So you want your business, even if you're selling the same thing, to stand out from another. The other thing that an attorney or a select business partner can do is to guide you in that initial setup stage. So before we even get to writing the agreement, when we're talking about the business plan and we're talking about actually going through the steps, I think earlier in this series I mentioned what happens to be my favorite sneaker now, my Kissick sneaker, and that story comes back to mind again, in that they sat down and planned through this. I am certain, because you had to know there were 100 sneaker companies, but to actually pigeonhole on what would be their niche going through, that people will then select. People like myself would then select this sneaker over and above this sneaker that you just go on your foot without you untying it. That to me just blows my mind, because it tells you that that company went through what we call that SWOT analysis. They actually went through and decide and thought about their strengths, weaknesses, the opportunities they had, and the threats that were out there. All the Nike, ASICs, all these other sneakers that they had to compete with. And I'm sure whoever the business partners are and the funder who probably funded the manufacture of these sneakers was happy for that they actually honed in and found their niche. And that's one of the things, using that story, you also get from working with an attorney, is that your documents are drafted specific to your business. Your business could be just like any other company out there doing the same thing, but it starts at a different place. It has different partners. It has a different location. It has different weaknesses or strengths, most importantly, that can be highlighted in your business documents that you will get prepared by a professional. And that's what I wanted to really just hone in on today, and to let you know that this can be done, and you too can get that wonderful book in the mail that shows that all your documents were done appropriately, and you now feel good enough that you can actually walk into a bank, you can actually respond to a grant offering, respond to an RFP, because you have your stuff done, and done expertly, and it is personalized and tailored to you. And I think that really is the key, because I know most people want to comply with regs, and we will get on here and we'll talk about things that are scary, but that's one of the joys of working with a professional and someone that has the experience in business law that you'll get a specialist that knows exactly where you are, because they've been there before and they've made the mistakes that you've encountered and that we don't want you to make, and even more that we don't want you to actually make in your business. And we can suggest things, and we can tell you things that we've seen that will make sure that does not happen to you. So again, I just wanted to just drop that on you here, talk about the other resources that is out there, and the step that you could take now to get yourself and your business in lockstep before the year is out. And before I go, I want to let everyone know we are available at DixonTurnbull.com. You can book a discovery call through the website, which is a free 15-minute consultation, or you can book an actual consultation through our website. You can also reach me at Christine A. Dixon to see more of these posts if you like them. If you liked this live and you want us to do more of it, please like and share. And I was really happy to be able to do this today, and I really wish for everyone to get really serious about their business, to get to this point where when you get this book in hand, I know my client sent me back a thank you, and I think it really warmed my heart, because what she said in it was that she felt legit. She felt ready to go into the bank and look for funding. And that really, made me feel really good the short time I worked with her, to know that that's going to reap benefits in the end, multiplied by 5, 10, because I know where her business can go. And, it only took her stepping back for a few days. It may have taken me a week, but it probably took her 2 days in talking back and forth with me and getting her business set up straight. Again, like and share this if you like this live. Thank you.